Welcome back, Brooklyn Nets fans. I had to vent about this game. I really was not planning on making a video tonight, but this might have been the worst loss of the year, and I am frustrated. I just sat through, 2.5 hours of that crap, and the Nets, of course, lost to a Grizzlies team that is by far the most injured team in the NBA. They're missing like every starter. Luke Kennard is their main guy, and the Nets had no interest in guarding him on some possessions. Why? I don't know. But he finished 8 of 11 with 25 points, so that's great. And at this point in the year, the Nets need every single win they can get. They are 2 games back of the final play-in spot. They came in 2 games down. They're probably 2.5 now. So they need every win they can get. And I said this on Twitter just before. If you could handpick any matchup in the NBA, if the Nets could have sat there and handpicked any of the 29 other teams and the location to play somebody, you would have picked the Memphis Grizzlies on your home floor. And it still wasn't enough. You still couldn't win. There were reasons for it. There are some excuses. The refs were not perfect tonight. They even missed a pretty obvious travel on Luke Kennard at the very end when I think the Grizzlies were up by 4. So that could have changed the game. They missed some stuff. They did. But the Nets beat themselves in too many ways for me to first go to the refs and say, oh, it's their fault. It was part of it, of course, but the Nets beat themselves in so many other ways that I don't think it's even worth harping on. And part of that starts with the missed free throws. The Nets in this game shot, it's not 35%, that's wrong. 17 of 30. 17 of 30, so 13 missed foul shots tonight. So the Nets shot 56% at the line. The Grizzlies were 81%. That's the difference right there. Another difference was the Grizzlies had 50 rebounds. 50 rebounds in this game. And the Nets had 33. So out-rebounded by 17 against a team that, once again, I can't even name most of their roster. This team stinks. But luckily for the Grizzlies, so did the Nets. They stink too. I believe they had 10 active guys tonight. There was no Jaren Jackson. Obviously no John Morant. They have nobody. Steven Adams been out for the entire year. I mean, there is nobody on this team. And when you need every win you can get, for this to be your performance is just terrible. And they kept it close the entire game. I figured at some point, like most teams that are better should do, they would pull away at some point. And there was a pivotal point in this game. I think the score was 66-64. It might have been early third quarter or so. And Nick Claxton, who's a guy who's playing for a contract, had a dunk, and I don't think he was too involved in the play. I think he just happened to be in the right spot, and he got a good assist, and he dunked it. And, of course, he had to slam the ball down and get a stupid technical foul, and that destroyed all the momentum the Nets had, because they were on a good run at that point. They were. But that stupid hit-the-ball-down thing basically costed them all the momentum they built up. And I will say Claxton, based on the stat sheet and at certain points in the game, played pretty well, but I'm just tired of the stupid technical fouls and momentum killing plays when you don't need them. That's just not the right time to do it. All right, good. You caught the ball and dunked it. It was a nice play, but it wasn't like you dunked over 3 people. You caught the ball as a 6'11 man and you dunked it. Cool. Go back and play defense. You don't need to slam the ball and give them a technical free throw and kill all momentum. You don't need it. Stupid. Especially in a close game. In a game that should not have been close in the freaking first place. So, look at me. I don't know why I get worked up about this team. We know where the season's going. It's either 10 seed and losing the play-in, or it's either 11 or 12 seed and you miss the playoffs entirely. And normally, it's not ideal, but at least you would look forward to, like, oh, we have our own draft pick. We'll be in the lottery. Well, of course, our pick belongs to the freaking Rockets, so that can't happen either. So there really is nothing to look forward to. Speaking of the Rockets, and a guy that they have shown interest in, Mikal Bridges did get hurt at one point in this game with looked like a wrist injury. I believe this happened in the third quarter, and it wasn't like he was having that great of a game anyway. But after that injury, he just could not hit a shot. He made his very last shot, which was that three-pointer in the corner when they had like 2 offensive rebounds. But after that, he just could not shoot. He went 4 of 9 at the line. One of those was an intentional miss where he had a lane violation, which pissed me off because I know the broadcast said it too, and I thought about it. Donovan Mitchell did the same thing. I think was it last year? This was last year, right? I'm pretty sure when he had that missed foul shot and the lane violation. I think this was last year. But of course it wasn't called. And Mikal Bridges did the same thing, and I'm pretty sure he would have had the rebound too, which is the sad part. But of course the ref called the lane violation, but that's the right call. The shooter cannot leave the free throw line until the ball hits the rim, and Mikal Bridges did. So, I mean, that's the rule. But hey, why couldn't they call it last year on Mitchell? I don't know. Hopefully next year I'll be rooting for Mitchell and it won't matter, but we'll see what happens. So rest of the team, I mean, I want to go over the injuries first because there were so many. Mikal Bridges, I mentioned, with the wrist, he played 39 minutes. I mean, the Nets play tomorrow. I'm thinking he'll play, but it's definitely not 100%, it looks like. Dennis Schroeder hit his head on somebody's knee, and he was down for a bit. He was checking for blood, but he was okay. He kept playing. Day'Ron Sharpe had a scary fall. He had one of those, it was a great pass by Schroeder. He just like threaded the needle. Great pass. And Day'Ron got fouled, and he went up for a dunk, and he basically had too much momentum. And he was trying to grab onto the rim. He slipped. He kind of almost fell on his head, but his hands hit the ground first. But I believe he hurt his wrist or his hand in the process. But he came back in the game later for rebounding purposes, so he's not too badly injured. But I guess for a guy like a center like Sharpe, you'd prefer it to be a hand or a wrist injury as preferred to like a foot or a knee injury. So I'll take that. We already saw Day'Ron have a hyperextended knee this year, so good thing it wasn't that again. And Lonnie Walker also turned his ankle. It looked pretty bad too, and he was limping around for a bit, but he came out at first. He came back in the game. He had some good moments in this one, but, he's a guy who just always finds a way to get hurt. It's a shame. I do like him as a player, but I feel like he gets hurt a lot. So anyway, let's go through everybody quickly here. DFS had 9 points on 3 of 6 from 3. He missed his only 2 shots from inside the perimeter. 5 assists and 5 rebounds. Wow. I mean, that's nice to see. But Cam Johnson is still looking better. He's definitely playing with more aggressiveness. Of course, when we needed a big shot in the fourth quarter, he wasn't there. I think he made a 3 in the early fourth quarter, but there was one when they were down by like 6 with about 5-6 minutes to go when they really needed it. And we know this man does not hit a clutch shot for his life, so of course he missed it. And Cam Johnson was not too effective in the fourth quarter. I mean, he had that one play where I think he kind of got fouled, but the ball was taken from him, and he stole it right back. Like, that was a good play. Like, he had some dog in him. Like, I want to see that from Cam Johnson, because Cam Johnson seems too timid at times. But for him to, like, get pissed off and just rip the ball back, that was good. And I think he went to the line and made both his foul shots, I'm pretty sure. So that was a good sequence. But, yeah, he had 18 points today. I mean, I'll take it. It's better than what he's been doing most of the year. Mikal, I mentioned, he was 4 of 14, 2 of 8 from 3, missed his 5 foul shots. One of those was intentional once again. 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. So he had like a decent game, but, I want to give him a pass on the wrist and say, hey, like, he was injured, so that's why he didn't shoot well. But even before that, he was not shooting the ball too well. So I can't say that's like the end-all, be-all, but whatever. Give him a pass. Nick Claxton, I complained about him before, about the stupid technical foul. But aside from that, he wasn't too bad. He was 8 of 10, 5 of 8 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, had 1 block. And I think the 1 block was a really nice one too. I forget. It was like he almost blocked it out of bounds, like into the sideline, but I think it was saved by somebody. But he had a nice block in this one. But once again, a guy playing for a contract. I'm tired of the stupid technicals that always seem to happen at the most inopportune times. It's just frustrating, but It's just part of his game. Like, he's been doing this for 4 years. Like, it is what is it, 4 years or 5 years? I forget. He was a rookie in 1920. I'm trying to do the math, but whatever. 4 or 5 years. Whatever. Either way, 4 or 5 years. It's old. It's played out, and I'm tired of it. Dennis Schroeder played 37 minutes. He was 5 of 13. He's better than Spencer Dinwiddie, so that's good. He had some really nice assists in this game. There were a couple passes, like the one to Day'Ron where Day'Ron got hurt. That was a great pass in transition. It was like a Jason Kidd type pass, like elite floor vision. And even James Harden, in his brief time here, did similar things. A really nice pass there by Schroeder in transition. Unfortunately, Day'Ron went 1 of 2 at the line, but still, he had a really nice wraparound pass, which he's been doing a lot to Nick Claxton. He also had Claxton on a really nice alley-oop too. And there's times where Schroeder is driving, and it looks like he's too far under the basket to like do anything, but he just does like these really cool wraparound passes, or just throws like these really quick alley-oops, and I don't know, he has pretty good vision for the most part, so he has a good feel for the game. I feel like Dinwiddie was not doing that, so yeah. But 13 points for Schroeder. He was 2 of 7 from 3, 1 of 3 at the line. He missed a big foul shot at the end. It was like his sequence at the end, I think they were down 4. I'm pretty sure it was 104-100 with like 20 seconds to go. So he went for a drive. He got fouled, and he was so close to an and one. The ball just like barely rimmed out. And he went to the line, had to make both, and of course he missed the first one. He did make the second one, but still, a 2-point game compared to a 3-point game was huge at that point, so he had to make both. Couldn't do it, sadly. Jalen Wilson, only 12 minutes. I wish he played more, and I wish Trendon Watford played too. I don't know why the hell they don't play that guy, but 5 points. Like, I just listed off the minutes. Schroeder, 37 minutes. Okay, he's the only ball handler. I get it. Mikal Bridges, does he have to play 39 minutes on the first half of a back-to-back versus the freaking Grizzlies? Does he have to play 39 minutes? Like, seriously? DFS, 37 minutes. Cam Johnson, 37. Like, you couldn't give these guys like 34, 33, and give guys like Jalen Wilson and Trendon Watford more time. It was a 9-man rotation tonight. It's just crazy. Like, on a Monday night versus the freaking Grizzlies, it's a 9-man rotation, and you're not playing Trendon Watford and Keita Bates-Diop, who are good, not good, but like lanky guys, and Watford's a ball handler, and Watford is good at getting in the paint and getting that floater. I don't know what the hell Bates-Diop even does. I feel like he's a decent shooter. He can play some defense. He would have given you something in this game. So for both those guys to have DNPs is just crazy. Like, it's the Grizzlies on the first half of a back-to-back, and you're playing 9 guys. Like, it's just crazy. So now you go into Philly, not into Philly, but I think the Nets are home tomorrow. But you play Philly tomorrow, and you're going to have your starters worn out because this, I don't want to say, for some reason I was about to call him a jackass. That's what I would call Jacques Vaughn. But Kevin Ollie, like, come on. You shouldn't be playing these guys 39, 37 minutes on the first half of a back-to-back. And the worst part is, like, you know, if the Nets really like unloaded the clip tonight and they got them the victory, then so be it. They unloaded the clip and they still lost the game. Like, if you're going to play these guys this many minutes, you better win the game. They played them these minutes and still lost the game. That's the worst part. They unloaded the clip and still lost. It's sad. Very sad. Dennis Smith Jr., he had some good moments tonight. He did. I missed Day'Ron. I'll get back to Day'Ron. 17 minutes, he was 2 of 5, 1 of 3 from downtown. Had 2 steals, and his sequence where he had the steal and the dunk was awesome. And he had the steal right after that. Oh, yes, I remember this now. So he got a steal right after. So basically, he had a steal at half court. He dunked it. Grizzlies came back up. He got another steal at half court, so back-to-back steals. And he was about to go for another layup, but Dorian Finney-Smith got called out for, like, he got fouled, or no, Dorian Finney-Smith was called for a foul for like an illegal box out, I guess you would call it, before Dennis Smith Jr. got the layup. Like, it was a stupid call. It was so soft too, because they showed the replay and like he barely impacted the play. Like, I get it, you can't, like, arm bar guys and keep them from blocking a shot, but, like, it wasn't even that bad. It's just crazy. But anyway, I feel like DSJ had some good momentum-type plays. I remember one time, it might have been to close out the first half, where he had, like, a pull-up jumper that was a complete brick. So, I hate watching those foul line jumpers from DSJ, because, like, they're not going to go in. Like, there was the one game. There was the game. Who was it against? I could look at the schedule quickly. I don't know this, but there was the game where everything was going our way. It might have been the first win versus the Hawks, but he had like that snatch back, and he made the 2-point shot, and he had another mid-range shot. Like, it was just one of those games where everything went our way. But Dennis Smith Jr., for the most part, is not making those shots. But I would say in this game, for the most part, he was a positive. I wish he shot the ball a bit better, but it is what it is. Who else? I mentioned Lonnie Walker. He had some good moments. He was 3 of 6 from 3, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 2 blocks. I think it was him who had it. No, it was DSJ. He had a really nice block on a fast break. I remember that play. I think it was Lonnie Walker tried to take a charge, and then Dennis Smith Jr. had the chase down block. Kind of like LeBron in the finals that one time, just not as cool. But who else? I mentioned I wanted to get to Day'Ron, 14 minutes, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. I mean, yeah, just not a good Day'Ron game. He took a 3, which was cool. It was early in the shot clock, and he missed the entire rim. So at least he tried. I'll give him that. But it's good to see him have the green light. I wish he hit the rim and made it look somewhat close, but that was a bad shot there. I mean, it was good to see him take that shot for confidence reasons and whatnot, but he just missed it very badly. So Memphis goes to 21-41. The Nets go to 24-37. And I believe we're now 2.5 out of the 10 seed, when once again they need every single win they can get. So, very disappointing. The good news, I guess, is that Cam Thomas was seen dunking a ball in practice. Because when I talked to you guys, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, right? Sunday, yeah. The last time we saw Cam Thomas, he was in a boot. And it wasn't looking good. It was a foot sprain, ankle sprain or something. Like, it just wasn't looking good. Like, the guy's in a boot. This is not good. But then they showed him in practice. He was just by himself. But still, he looked like he was moving pretty quickly. Good explosiveness. He dunked the ball. So maybe Cam Thomas is back sooner than we expected, hopefully, but no official word yet. I think they keep calling him day to day, so we'll see, whatever the hell that means. A guy who probably won't be back soon is Ben Simmons, who I don't want to waste too much time on, but for every shred of news that gets released on him, it's looking worse and worse. At first it was the knee issue, then it was the nerve impingement again, then they're saying it's the same nerve impingement that kept him out 2 months this year already. To me, he's probably done. If he comes back, cool. If not, I expect it. I don't know. Hopefully he played his last game as a Net. That's how I feel about Ben Simmons. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest coached game. I feel like Ali had a challenge earlier that I liked. It was the play where the freaking Grizzlies. This is what I mean. The refs had an off night. They did. And once again, not blaming them for the loss. Like, the Nets beat themselves. But there was a play where somebody tried to whip like a cross-court pass on the Grizzlies, and it hit a Grizzlies guy in the head and went out of bounds. And they called it off on the Nets. And it, we shouldn't have to challenge that. There's 3 refs out there. Someone has to see it. And even the guy who was supposed to receive the pass in the corner was laughing because it hit his teammate in the head. But the freaking refs didn't see it. So it's just crazy. But anyway, Nets shot 35% from 3, 56% at the line, which was the killer, and 44% from the field. So if they fixed those certain areas, which was the free throw shooting and the getting out rebounded part, that was like the 2 things that beat them in this game, that lost them this game, I should say. And on second chance points, the Grizzlies had 8 more. It felt like there were so many times when, because like the Grizzlies had some crazy possessions where I feel like for the Nets it was just bad luck. Like there was the one play where I forget who it was. Might have been their center who fouled out. I forget his name now, but dude was on like the block. and shot like a turnaround fadeaway with the shot clock winding down off the top of the backboard, basically, and it went in. Like, just something that if that man shot that 10 more times, it might go in one more time. What was his name? Trey Jemison. Is it Yeah, Jemison. Not like Antoine Jameson. Jemison. Trey Jemison. I think it was him who shot that turnaround shot off the backboard. There was the other crazy-ass shot that Kennard made where he had two guys in his face from the left elbow. Somehow it just rimmed in. Like, it was just crazy. There was another one later in the game, too, right? Where, who was it? I forget now, but one of the guys who's a lefty on the Grizzlies was taking like this crazy fall-away shot at the end, and that went in. Like, just a lot of crazy shots that should not have went in for the Grizzlies, and sometimes it's just one of those nights. Cam Johnson averaging 23 points per game the past 3 games, shooting 50% from 3. So that's cool. It's nice to see. It's just unfortunate that they could not win this game. Really is. And even G.G. Jackson, who's like one of the guys you fear on this team now, he didn't play that well. He was 2 of 9, 7 points, 2 turnovers. Didn't play that well. We let this guy Jake LaRavia go off against us. I mean, I guess he was a first-round pick. I never heard of him, but I'm not a big NBA draft guy, to be honest. But still, this team is not good. This should not have happened. Just a frustrating Nets loss tonight. But, we're used to it. I mean, I guess if we made like a power rankings of Nets embarrassing losses this year, this has to be top 5. And I would say it's probably in the running for the worst one of the entire year. Because, like, the momentum was going their way. Coming into tonight, the Nets had won their last 3 of 4 games. And things were looking better. They were playing great defense. They developed this defensive identity that was looking great. And, of course, they threw it all away tonight. Like, they just literally threw it all away. So it's a shame. So if they won this game, that would have been 4 wins in their last 5 games. And they just gave it away. That's how I could sum it up. They just gave it away. What else was a bad loss? I'm trying to see now, like, what were the really bad losses? There was the loss at L.A., on a Sunday when they came into the fourth quarter up by 16 and they lost the game by 11 points somehow. I want to see for the hell of it. What was the fourth quarter score? 41-15 in the fourth quarter of that game. Like that's as bad as it gets, obviously. Like that's just a historically bad and historically great fourth quarter. There was the the loss on the road at Portland. 105-103. They lost at home versus Portland too. Yeah, the overtime loss to Portland at home. Like, losing to Portland twice is embarrassing. I mean, come on, especially overtime. There was the loss on that Friday at Washington. That was the loss because at that point they were 15-16 going into that game. That was the game after they rested the guys versus Milwaukee. And you're thinking, all right, well, they rested these guys versus Milwaukee, and you're thinking they better go out and win that game against Washington on Friday, and of course they go out and lose that game. It's like typical Nets. I knew right then and there, like, oh yeah, this team is not that good. Because they were 15-16, right? So I'm thinking like, all right, like this team might be a 500 team. They might flirt with 40 wins, but when they lost that game at Washington on that Friday, when they rested everybody, or coming off the night they rested everybody, I was like, yeah, this might not be a good season. This might not end too well. So, once again, they were 13-10 on December 13th. They are 24-37 tonight. And they should be 25-36, but they blew this game. So, that's about it. Just want to come on here and rant. I doubt I'll react to tomorrow's game. I might wait till Saturday, which is the game at Charlotte. I don't know. We'll see. They play a back-to-back against Cleveland Sunday night. So yeah, maybe I'll wait till Sunday night because then there's like 3 off days after that. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, disappointing. They need every win they can get. There's how many games are left now? I don't want to count every single one, but I feel like there's about 20 left or so, 21, 20. So, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal at all. So hopefully we beat Philly tomorrow, which I guess would kind of, I don't want to say that. I was going to say it would kind of make up for it because, I feel like coming off a back-to-back, we'd probably lose to the Sixers. So if they can like go out and win tomorrow, excuse me, then like maybe that'll make us feel better because they probably should have went 1-1 in this stretch anyway. So if they somehow win tomorrow, then like maybe I'll forgive them. But with all the minutes these starters played tonight, and Mikal Bridges with his wrist injury, Lonnie Walker with his ankle, we'll see how that feels tomorrow. Dayron with his wrist or his hand, we'll see how that feels tomorrow. Maybe Dennis Schroeder has a concussion. We don't know about it. I don't know. So there's a lot of what ifs, and the injury report will definitely be worth watching tomorrow. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, disappointing. If you made it this far, comment, where do you rank this amongst Nets' embarrassing losses this year? I think for me, it's either 1 or 2. Because I don't know. Like the loss at the Clippers, they were such a good team at that time. They were on such a good roll. But they were up by 16 in the fourth quarter. So I don't know. So to me, it's either the game at Washington after that Milwaukee game when they rested guys, or it's tonight. So it's one or the other for me. I'll put the Clippers game third because they're a good team. But anyway, that'll do it. Sad season, sad game. But as Josiah said, Brooklyn loves this team. I'm not loving it. Anyway, talk to you guys next time.